Welcome back to the War on Truth. We have applied our framework to the assassinations and terror attacks of the 20th and 21st centuries. Now, we apply it to the ultimate ancient enigma, the Pyramids of Giza. The official story tells us that around 4,500 years ago, Pharaoh Khufu built the Great Pyramid in roughly 20 years using simple ramps, copper tools, and sheer manpower. This narrative is the sacred cow of Egyptology. We are not here to offer a definitive alternative theory. We are here to ask why the accepted theory requires us to suspend disbelief in the fundamental laws of engineering, logistics, and geology. We are here to prove that the techniques of deception, the immediate dismissal of new evidence, and the labeling of dissent are as old as the monuments themselves. The official timeline for the Great Pyramid is the first massive red flag. The structure is composed of approximately 2.3 million stone blocks, primarily limestone, averaging 2.5 tons each. The official builders had 20 years. We apply the test of scale and plausibility. To finish the pyramid in 20 years, the builders would have had to quarry, transport, lift, and precisely place one 2.5-ton block every 2 to 3 minutes, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. This requires a logistical perfection that defies the historical record. Furthermore, these blocks were cut with astonishing precision, achieved, we are told, using simple copper tools, which are too soft to cut the 70-ton granite beams in the internal chambers. If the government is instituted to secure the rights of the people, the founders warned us against those who would enforce tyranny, stating, "He has refused his assent to laws, the most wholesome and necessary for the public good." The official narrative refuses assent to the simple laws of logistics and physics. It asks us to believe that the means, the copper tools, and the simple ramps are capable of producing a result that challenges the most powerful modern industrial equipment. Just as the official narrative of the JFK assassination required us to ignore the Parkland doctor's report, the pyramid narrative requires us to dismiss an entire field of science, geology. We apply the test of errant data. The Great Sphinx, conventionally dated to the same period as the Great Pyramid, exhibits massive, deep, vertical erosion patterns. Geologists like Dr. Robert Schoch have argued persuasively that this erosion is caused by long periods of heavy rain, indicating the Sphinx must be thousands of years older than the currently accepted dynastic timeline. The official narrative cannot integrate this data. It is simpler to dismiss the geological evidence than to admit that the timeline for Giza is fundamentally wrong. The greatest evidence gap lies in the official construction theory itself. The common explanation for getting those millions of stones to the top requires a colossal ramp, a structure that would have required more material than the pyramid itself. Yet after decades of archaeology, there is virtually no physical evidence of such a massive, long-term ramp. This is a failure of falsifiability. If the core theory of construction cannot produce the physical evidence required to support it, the ramp, it should be set aside as an unverified hypothesis. Instead, the official narrative enforces it as settled history. The final, crucial parallel to our other cases is the impossibility of independent verification, enforced by a systemic authority. In Egyptology, that authority is personified by Dr. Zahi Hawass. Dr. Hawass, the former Minister of State for Antiquities Affairs, has effectively declared himself the gatekeeper of all truth and knowledge at Giza. He uses his power to shut down any pursuit of truth that isn't the one he is personally handing out. The Great Pyramid holds an astonishing piece of hidden evidence: the narrow air shafts. A robotic exploration traveled hundreds of feet down one shaft and found a sealed door complete with 2 copper handles. That sealed door is the ultimate test of falsifiability. It is a tangible piece of hidden evidence, just like the sealed JFK autopsy photos or the seized Pentagon tapes. The primary reason that door remains unopened is not technological. It is because what is on the other side would blow the official Pharaonic story right out of the water. Hawass enforced the same systemic obfuscation at the Sphinx. After rumors of the Hall of Records persisted, Hawass began a project to investigate tunnels beneath the Sphinx. Midway through, he canceled the documentary and denied the existence of the tunnels. The most powerful evidence that his narrative cannot stand up to scrutiny came during his interview with Joe Rogan. When faced with basic, direct questions, Dr. Hawass flew into a blind rage, contradicting himself at every turn. He looked like an animal in a trap, because his arguments are not founded in fact, prepared to stand up to scrutiny. He promised Rogan photos and videos proving that he and his team had replicated the ancient methods by cutting and moving massive stone blocks. These images were never delivered, strongly suggesting the methods that sustain the official narrative simply do not work, violating the inference to the best explanation test. Finally, consider the recent Italian GPR study that claimed to find structures 600 feet deep, an entire subterranean city using ground-penetrating radar. While many scientists are skeptical of the technology's capabilities at that depth, the Italian team were real scientists documenting their methods. Their experiment should be reproducible. Does Dr. Hawass allow independent scientists to replicate the findings? No. He screams about shutting it down because he has already solved the mystery. The founders warned of a ruler who he has combined with others to subject us to a jurisdiction foreign to our Constitution and unacknowledged by our laws. The archaeological establishment enforces a jurisdiction of academic control that is foreign to the scientific method. By blocking access, denying replication, and screaming down dissent, they ensure the unfalsifiable lie is protected not by evidence, but by the label attached to any dissenting opinion. When we are asked to believe in construction logistics that defy modern engineering, when we are asked to dismiss geological evidence of massive redating, and when the most powerful gatekeeper in archaeology seals the doors, denies the existence of tunnels, and melts down under basic scrutiny, we are being asked to suspend disbelief. The deception is the method. Whether the target is a president, a massive financial black hole, or the origins of human civilization, The principle is the same. Control the evidence, label the dissent, and enforce the lie. We are fighting the war on truth. We are providing the tools to reclaim your consent and demand that our institutions adhere to the highest standard, the mandate of justice. Join us next time as we conclude our season by applying the framework to the ultimate final frontier, UFOs and aliens.